do you want to go next, Joe? We did. You want to go tag team of the year?
Sure. Why don't you kick us
Tag
off?
team of the year heads back to me. My guys, Bob Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, Undisputed Era. I mean, they are the only tag. My only gripe with them would be we don't see enough of them tag team matches wise. I know Bob Fish is hurt right now, but every takeover, every NXT pay per view, the guys deliver. NXT tag team champions, Undisputed Era. Throw Roddy in there too, handling all the gold. They're the number one established tag team for me in North America. It's got to be Bob Fish and Kyle O'Reilly.
Yeah, I went with Lucha Brothers. I felt like, for them too, they'd been on television in different places. I think they were in Impact at one point. They were in MLW at one point. But they're getting a little bit more exposure in the United States this year with the advent of AEW and some other things. I know they've wrestled on PWG shows as well, but I just think that their series of matches with the Bucks got a lot of attention. They've had other good matches since joining AEW. I haven't seen a bad match from them. I know they work in Mexico too, so I'm going to go with, I think Lucha Brothers deserve it this year just for their, wide variety of matches that they've had over the course of 2019.
You have any backup teams?
I think, the Young Bucks are always there, but
not enough.
They've had a different, it's been a different kind of year for them. They didn't wrestle a whole lot in the first half of the year. The Briscoes had a really cool year too, but I think for me, Lucha Bros was the pick.
Yeah, Briscoes and God were close for me. Those guys had a really solid year. So, what do you want to do next, Joe? Pick the category.
Why don't we do female superstar of the year?
All you. What do you got?
I went with Io Shirai for female wrestler of the year this year, and there's a couple. I was trying to think of different people to consider. Right, I considered Becky Lynch. She was kind of the one I think from last year that was the standout, but I've kind of grown a little tired of her act, and I don't think she's had like this great string of matches throughout the course of the year. I thought about Riho in AEW, but I didn't think she had enough time. Same thing with Rhea Ripley. I think she's had a good last couple of months, but I really couldn't tell you much of what Rhea Ripley did the first 9 months of the year.
NXT UK, kind of, that's about it.
Yeah. So Io Shirai, I thought had been the most consistent female wrestler that I've seen this year. She had a good series of matches with Shayna Baszler. She had a series of matches with Candice LeRae. She was part of the War Games match. So I think she's done a lot of cool stuff. She did a heel turn during the course of the year that was not really expected. At least I wasn't expecting it. So to me, I just thought she's been the most consistent quality in-ring performer and overall women's character in 2019.
Had to go with Shayna Baszler. I'm not happy about it. I don't particularly care for Shayna Baszler all that much. However, I will say the model of consistency, you don't see half of the mistakes in a Shayna Baszler match that you see from the normies or the four horsewomen on Raw and SmackDown. She has a style, she has a formula, she sticks to it, and she's good at what she does. So I'm gonna go to Shayna Baszler on this one. I thought about Rhea Ripley as well, but like you said, I couldn't tell you what she did from January to late September. So let's head over to I guess we'll go with male wrestler of the year. This one was tough for me. I got two guys sticking in my head. I have a feeling you're going to go with one of them, possibly the same two. I'm going to go with Adam Cole. Adam Cole, to me, has been just the guy. He's like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. He's the guy that single-handedly saved. What weekend was that, Joe? When he had a takeover? Was it Survivor Series? When he had the takeover. He wrestled on NXT. He wrestled on TakeOver, and then the Survivor Series. That was the pay-per-view. Yeah. All his matches with Johnny Gargano. I mean, he won the NXT title when we were there in Connecticut. The guy has done everything right this year, and it's for longtime fans of his, like us. Put myself over. Whatever. We were fans of Adam. True story. Joe is the biggest Adam Cole fan for the longest time. So to see him come to the forefront now, and I heard somebody talking about him recently. Oh, it was on the Busted Open show when somebody, I think Bully Ray or the host mentioned, they're worried because he might not be the biggest guy in the world. I'm like, dude, he saved your SmackDown, your Survivor Series week. He wrestled every single night. He wrestled Daniel Bryan on SmackDown when half the plane got stuck in Indonesia. I forget where it was. But Adam Cole, your NXT World Heavyweight Champion, he's my male wrestler of the year.
Yeah, I think I had two guys listed as well, and I was just going to go with the opposite one, just to be different for whichever one you picked in case we had the same two. But I think I agree with your pick. I think Adam Cole deserves it because just he's been basically wrestling in main events the entire year. I think that's, for me, that makes a big factor in it. He's been around the NXT title for most of the year as well. And just, now with NXT being on television every week, and like you mentioned, with NXT getting some, I don't know, whatever if you want to call it, main roster exposure with Survivor Series and that type of thing. So he's just been at the forefront of it for most of the year, and I gave it to him. I mean, Will Ospreay was the other guy I had in mind, just because of the quality of matches that he had over the course of the year in Japan. With the Super Juniors and then in the G1 and everything else he does. So those are the two guys, but I think Cole deserves it because, when he was in Ring of Honor, he was really good, and I was a big fan too, but his match quality is a lot better, I think, now. And I'm not sure if that's just based off of the opponents or he's gotten better or whatever it might be, but I haven't seen him have a bad match in a long time. So, I'm going to agree with you on the Wrestler of the Year and say Adam Cole.
I'm going to also agree with you on what you said about his quality of matches going up from Ring of Honor. Adam Cole was a great gimmick. He had a great look. He was a great promo guy, and his matches were serviceable and beyond serviceable. But now it's like Adam Cole's like, all right, I got to watch his promo, and I also have to watch him in the ring because it was him and Ricochet is the other guy I feel like really benefited from going to WWE, where their match quality just increased. And WWE gets a bad rap on, they come over and everybody sucks and they dull it down. And that's true for some people, but for guys like Adam Cole and Ricochet, I don't know what it was. If maybe things just clicked because of their age and things like that, but they've really, to me, it's been a lot more enjoyable in under the WWE banner, if you will. The other guy I had on there for Male Wrestler of the Year was Chris Jericho. A lot for what he's done in the main event of AEW, but for also how he's been able to really reinvent himself yet again for New Japan and being a guy. Yeah, Jericho's got a jacked dad bod look. Listen, that's the long and short of it. He's not. The truth is, the guy drinks, he parties, he's a rock star. Let him do his thing. He's almost 50, and he works a different style. He very much has that New Japan mentality, right? Like that, like Yuji Nagata style, where it's like, all right, I can't do what I used to do, but I'm going to accentuate the things I can do to the umpteenth degree, make you want to watch my matches, and then, There's one more guy I had. I'm not going to go off into a tangent, but that was Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley has completely changed since he left the WWE. His run in the G1 was amazing. What he's doing now in AEW makes him feel special, and he's another guy that was able to really reinvent himself in 2019. That was my top 5, I feel like. But all right. But number 1, Adam Cole.
Sweet. How about we do a promotion of the year?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good. This is you. Go. What do you got for me?
I went with AEW, and I'm not sure if that's too markish of me to do that, but the reason I went with them was because they started the year as a brand new promotion in January, and where we are now is they've put on 3 pay-per-views this year, and they have a weekly TV show that started in October on TNT. And I think I heard today that their average attendance for the shows, which is basically all the TV shows and the pay-per-views, is about 6,200 people per show, which is pretty good, I feel like, for a promotion that started from, the ground up this year. So I think that, coupled with the fact that they are putting an emphasis on the in-ring product, and I've really enjoyed the Dynamite show. I mean, there are things about it that could be changed or could be better. I'm not saying it's a perfect show, so... but I gave them the nod for it just because, what other promotion starts up and has 6,000 people coming to it per show, and they're running decent-sized arenas and, whatever amount of people are watching every week. So I went with AEW.
Okay, listen, I went with New Japan, but I agree with everything you said about AEW. And the other thing that really goes majorly unnoticed is AEW Dark is an extra hour and 10, hour and 50 minutes of pure wrestling you get every week for free. Mm-hmm. So kudos to them. I mean, those matches are they're quality matches. It's not like you're getting just quote unquote dark matches. You're getting an extra card. In essence, you're getting 1 hour of NXT per week. That's kind of like what it is. It's 3 matches every single week, 2 or 3 interviews, and a recap by Tony Schiavone of what's going on. So I love what they're doing. I love where they're going. But because it's only been 2 months in, I got to go with the model of consistency. And to me, that's New Japan Pro Wrestling, especially because of Wrestle Kingdom and the G1 this year. The G1 this year was just amazing top to bottom. The cast of characters in the G1 was the best it's ever been, and I watched every single night. So I love New Japan Pro Wrestling. I love the product that they put out, and every year it's, you have your blowaway matches, but you never have that junk where you sit through a show and you're like, I just wasted 3 hours of my life or something like that. Like the bad stuff, the worst they're going to be is average, and the best they're going to be is setting the bar higher than ever before. So for me, the model of consistency is New Japan Pro Wrestling. So
I don't think you can go wrong with picking New Japan or even NXT. So I agree with all those.
No, NXT was there too. There's, but let's take a little peek behind the curtain. Joe, you're having some issues with NXT.
Well, I think that the switch to, or the, I don't know whatever you want to call it, the change to the 2-hour show every week has changed it a little bit for me. It was different. It was a different model, right? They're doing 1-hour shows per week. They were taping, once a month, whatever it might be. And, I think now going live every week for 2 hours, it's not a bad show at all. It's just a little bit different. The guys are having to appear a little bit more. They're having to work a little bit more. Their roster it's not thin by any means, but they have to use other, guys that, maybe they wouldn't be using regularly every week on their show. Because usually the shows were just 1 hour long, and then you're building to the takeover, right? So you'd have the top 5 feuds, and then maybe a couple feuds that don't make the pay-per-view. Now they have to, stretch it out a little bit to get more people on the show every week. So, I think, it's just an adjustment for them,
Let's go with, we have match of the year and we have card of the year. What do you want?
Let's do card of the year.
Card of the year, Joe. This is back to me.
Yes.
Wrestle Kingdom 13, top to bottom. Like everything I just detailed of why New Japan is the promotion of the year for me is exemplified in Wrestle Kingdom 13. In no particular order on one show, you had Omega versus Tanahashi in the main event, Naito versus Jericho for the IWGP IC title, Ospreay versus Ibushi, and Zack Sabre Jr. versus Tomohiro Ishii. You have, I think, an 8-match show or a 9-match show, and those are 1, 2, 3, that's 4 of your matches. Like, I watched that show the most this year on replay as well. So to me, that's a big factor of it. But for me, card of the year was Wrestle Kingdom 13.
I went with NXT TakeOver New York, which was the show over WrestleMania weekend. I believe it was done on Friday night, I want to say. So
we didn't go to it, so
yeah, we didn't go to that one. We were at the G1 Supercard show the following night at MSG, which is the same night as the Hall of Fame. But either way, I think this card featured the Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole 2 out of 3 falls match for the vacant NXT